Good morning. It's an honor to be here. Let me tell you a little bit about me and my company. That is no way to start a presentation. Yet, that's exactly how most meetings and presentations begin. Boring, typical cliches. And they don't work. The opening of your meeting or presentation isn't a space holder. It has a purpose, and that purpose is threefold. First, capture attention. It's important to remember that every audience you've ever communicated with has one thing in common. They're distracted. It's an illusion to think for one moment that your listeners are actually paying attention. And why is your audience always distracted? Because they're just like you and me, human. Next, set the tone. Be sure to create the appropriate energy for the message. Is it optimistic? Is there a celebration? Or are you sharing some heavy news? And finally, make a human connection, and that is build the bridge and shorten the gap between the speaker or leader and the audience or listeners. Question: do any of those typical, boring cliches accomplish our purpose? No. Good answer. So if typical doesn't work, it means an engaging communicator has only one other option: atypical. And that requires courage. In the book, Made to Stick by the Heath brothers, they say it like this: the best way to capture someone's attention is to break a pattern. And that's based on brain science and patterns. Think about it like this. Recall the first day that you drove to work. Remember how attentive and present you were? You had your phone closed and maybe even turned off. You had both hands on the steering wheel. You were looking straight ahead. A half mile before your turn, you put on your blinker. You got there early and ready to go. And then sometime in the future, you don't remember when, you got in the car, heading to work. You picked up your phone, had an energy bar, were adjusting your music, maybe driving with your knee a little bit, and you arrived at work safely and on time. That's because your brain recognized the pattern and allowed you to be multi-present or multitask, which means doing several things poorly at the same time. Now, imagine that's happening. You're on the phone with me. You're on your way to work. You have the energy bar in the other hand, and you're adjusting the music, and you come around a corner, you realize or you recognize red and blue flashing lights and a white and orange striped barricade. What might you do in that moment? Rich, I'll call you back. Phone down, energy bar down, hands back on the steering wheel, fully present in the moment. It's because your brain called your attention to that space because something unusual happened. In other words, a pattern was broken. So if the best way to start a meeting or presentation is with the same old tired phrases, then we're giving our listeners permission to let their mind wander and succumb to those natural distractions. Here are some atypical and engaging ways you can start a meeting or presentation. First, jump into the action, preferably with a story. You see, a story will pique the curiosity of your audience and your listeners by having them wonder, where is this going? And they'll lean in to what might happen next. 2, ask an intriguing question. Get their mind thinking and their heart pumping. 3, offer a sincere compliment. And make sure this sincere compliment is based on facts and evidence, not flattery. 4, propose a powerful quote. Who said it had to be someone else's? Perhaps you write your own. 5, use a curiosity statement. Mystery can have a masterful impact on your listeners. Or 6, utilize an analogy in a way to make a complex topic seem simple for your listeners. It's not your audience's job to pay attention. As an engaging communicator, it's your job to capture their attention, and that starts from the beginning.